All right.
Dude, just let me know when you start recording, and then I'll say whatever I need to say. But in reality, don't anyone you should tell them, or maybe even put it on the website. If you're a helicopter pilot, you're gonna get all the ladies, or if you're a lady, all the guys. Because not only are you gonna be the coolest person in the room, you are gonna be the coolest person in the room. My name is Aaron. I work for Anthelion Helicopters, not as a pilot, but as a non-pilot. I am training to become a helicopter pilot with them. You know, when I was younger, I knew that I liked airplanes and jets and helicopters and all that. The first time, I was a really young kid, but the first time I got on a bigger airplane, I knew it might not necessarily be for me. Because of the pressure difference and the cabin pressure and all that. It wasn't really affecting me, and it's not that I couldn't do it as a career, but I just didn't like it that much. As I started getting a little bit older, I had a friend that was an instructor, and I went up in a small plane, and to be honest with you, pretty much lost my lunch every time I got in that thing. They were super rough riding. There's a lot more surface area on the wing. Especially in hotter climates, it was just such a rough ride. And then by the time you got in the air, you just sat around and waited till you got to the next leg. So I knew that helicopters probably was what I wanted to at least try out. When I joined the Marines, I actually got to fly on several helicopters going into Iraq and Kuwait and several of these areas. And that's when I knew I really liked helicopters. I felt comfortable in them. I felt the pressure was fine in them. I liked how they were just kind of low and slow. You could see a little bit of everything. And then the best part about it is if you want to go check something out or observe something else, you just turn back around, make a couple orbits, and sure enough, you're right there. If you want to lower down, if you want to land, if you want to pick someone up, right there. If you want to land on a boat, if you want to land on out in the middle of nowhere, you really couldn't do that in aircraft so much. Coming here was a whole new experience, and the second I got a hold of the controls, I knew right then and there. It was no matter what it takes, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much it costs, I wanted to do it no matter what. So I knew that don't put one foot in, put both feet in, and see what you can get out of it. I knew I was going to like it. But I would honestly have to say what I love about flying helicopters the most, and what I love about flying the most, besides all the cool stuff you get to see, is the difficulty. Helicopters are quite a bit more difficult to fly than airplanes. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that before, but they're a lot more difficult to fly. I actually was living in Arizona, and I hit up quite a few flight schools. I'd probably say more than almost a dozen anyways, just kind of seeing what would be the best establishment for me to start training. There was a few things I was looking for that Anthelion met, and I got a call from the owner, Alex. He gave me a call, and I came down here and visited a few times and realized that this was the place for me. It is a really intense airspace out here. This is LA. The airspace is really intense. That's what I like about it the most. And we also have great weather every day. So almost every day of the year we have clear enough and good enough weather to fly, not only in a training environment, but also in a fun environment as well. I know a lot of the places I checked, I mean, you know, maybe 50 days a year they have that are good. It's just too cloudy, the visibility's off. I like it out here. And, you know, it's a little bit more out here, but I also get to go to the beach a couple times a week, so who's to say that's really that bad of a time, huh? The other big thing that I really like about Anthelion, not that this is an advertisement for Anthelion, but the one really big thing that I like about this is our maintenance program. I've met all of our mechanics. I've seen all the requirements as a 141 school that's required versus a 61 school. There's just a lot more requirements, a lot more maintenance procedures, and a lot more routine maintenance. The mechanics have plenty of years of experience, and that was the first thing I did. When I came out here, I checked out all the aircraft, looked at all the systems and all the mechanics and things like that, and I was pretty impressed. There's a lot of schools you go to that I've been noticing. When you walk in, it looks like you're flying some pre-70s aircraft. So it's a little nerve-wracking, you know, when you can't pull over in one of these things. You know, it's like when you're up there, you're up there. So I wanted something that I felt comfortable, I felt safe, and the one thing that I like about this place is that they emphasize safety all the time. And I'm at that age now where I can't make those wild moves like a lot of the younger kids. I want to make it to an old man, you know, so that's one of the reasons why I'm out here. But, you know, you got to be on it. If anyone's thinking about doing this, I'm saying you can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. But if you think it's going to be easy, it's not. Today's flight was my most nerve-wracking flight of ever. Now, I know if you guys put me back on the camera next week, I'm going to tell you that flight was the most nerve-wracking one I've had so far. But today I did my first solo. I flew a helicopter by myself today. So it was kind of a big deal, and it's a lot different. One of the things that people don't understand on helicopters, well, pretty much any aircraft, is the weight and balance. The balance alone, just when someone gets out of that left seat, and they step out of that and you're going to want to take off and do your thing. Everything's different. All the controls are different now, and the aircraft actually behaves a little bit different now. So my first pickup off the ground was really nerve-wracking. One of the biggest problems with solo students is dynamic rollover, and that's where the helicopter flips over on itself. So it is a little nerve-wracking knowing that, you know, this is something that you've done several times. You've picked it up and set it down. You picked it up and set it down. But now when you do it, it's so different. And you don't have anyone to tell you how to do it. So it was nerve-wracking. If you're interested, very beginner, never even showed up to the front door, just do it. Just get to the next step. My biggest problem is I've wanted to do this since I was a little kid. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-30s until I even showed up to the front door. Before I even showed up to the front door, I've already lived some life, you know. Being a helicopter pilot, this is the greatest time you could ever do it. And a lot of schools have said that for years, but it's true right now. Like, it's legitimately true. There's a lot of jobs opening up. If I had the hours, without a doubt, I'd have a job right now. Obviously, I'm training to get them. Also, if you're nervous, if you don't know anything about helicopters, mechanics, airspace, weather, any of that stuff, pick up a helicopter flying handbook. That'll at least teach you, hey, when you see that helicopter flying around, you know why it's up there. You know that it's producing lift. You know that there's drag. You know that, you know, there's a difference between weights and balances and fuel quantities and different kinds of aircrafts. And these are all things that you can learn in the handbook. And then you're gonna, I mean, depending on if you guys want to fly the Cabri or the Robinson, we do have a Cabri. I think there's like 40 or 50 total in the United States, and I think only a few of those are actually even eligible for training. We have the only one that I know of even in California, so that one's kind of a popular one. If you guys are kind of on the fence about what aircraft, that one's a fun one as well. Me personally, I want to do this as a career. Robinsons are created out of Torrance, so you know this is kind of known as Robinson country. They're a difficult aircraft to fly, so if you know how to fly one of them, you can fly anything. And I heard that when I first showed up, and it's the truth. Like, once you know how to hold the controls on that guy, you can fly anything. If you're watching this video and you're not in SoCal and you want to go to a different flight school, it doesn't matter. Do it. Do it. If you like it, and then you're thinking to yourself, hey, this guy is saying something that might be helpful. I want to go do some flying in SoCal. Come on and see us. You get one demo flight per school for the most part. You only get the one, and then you have to enroll, which isn't a big deal. I think it's like 30-40 minutes or something it took me. But do that introductory flight. Get your hands on the controls. Understand the concept of the controls. But if you want to be a little bit ahead of the game, get the helicopter flying handbook. And then check out the Robinson Helicopter website. Check out that pilot operating handbook, the R22 pilot operating handbook. Know that aircraft like the back of your hand, and I'm telling you, you'll get your private pilot license in no time. We recording? No, just kidding. I like Alex. He's a great owner. I would say me and Alex actually have a lot in common. I did get into a bad accident, not aircraft related, dirt bike related, but I did get in a bad accident a few years ago. where I'm not physically where I used to be. But he's into a lot of things that I would have been into, like the rock climbing and working out and exercising. He's prior military, so we kind of have that same like straightforward kind of. I like to be told as is, like tell me like it is, you know, no sugarcoating, no nothing. Some people like it a little bit sugar coated, some people not so much. Me being prior Marine Corps, just tell it to me straight. So I know he was Royal Marine, so we kind of have that camaraderie there. Marine's a Marine, you know, so the guy knows how to fly, man. That's the one thing. When I've flown with that guy a few times, that guy knows how to fly. There's a big difference between making it from one place to the next and just having that like absolute fine-tuning of the aircraft. Don't let that aircraft fly you. You fly the aircraft, and that guy's definitely got it dialed in, so to speak. Hey, so if you guys have any questions or anything like that, always feel free to call and ask for me. My name is Aaron. I answer the phone, especially on Monday, Tuesdays, pretty much the whole day. If you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to hit me up about it. Hopefully this video makes it to you. This is the greatest thing I've ever done. I have never done anything that is as much fun and as challenging as this. I would love to hear from you guys, and if there's some questions that I didn't answer, I'm just thinking about my own experience. It's different for everyone. Most of the students I see coming here are from all walks of life and have different experience in one area versus the other. These could be advantages for you, and if you don't have any experience, don't let it sweat you. It gives you a little bit less bad habits. So again, my name is Aaron. Come by and see me. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the skies. If you want to actually, hold on. If you want to actually fly, be a helicopter pilot, because at all times, your hands are going to be on the controls, and at all times, you're going to be making adjustments on the controls. Hold on, here's my impersonation of an airplane pilot. Wait, are we there yet? The airplane pilots are pretty cool, but no, they're not. Helicopter pilot. Oh yeah. You ready? You ready for the real stuff?